Potent Pondering, I'm back with another video. Yo, I wanted to come and play this audio that I got from Facebook. Shout out to one of my cousins. She ended up, I was speaking about the situation with Naziah Harris on Facebook, and then my cousin ended up sending this to me as well. So this is a 18-year-old boy who stated when he was in sixth grade, Antonio Maurice Brantley, who was like I don't know if he was a sixth grade teacher, but he was definitely, an adult in the school at the time, how he took advantage of him. Listen, wait until the end of the video, because he said that his mom felt as though it was her fault. I'm gonna say, listen to the full video, and I want you to hear what I feel about how this situation took place or whatever. So let's check this out.
When people start to ask me questions like, why are you just not coming out about the situation, or why haven't you been saying anything or anything like that, you didn't go through it. Like that can ruin a person's mind, mental, all that. That's stripped away from me at 12 years old. You weren't in it, so you couldn't tell me what to do. You can't. So with that being said, everybody can just keep their comments to themselves, because you didn't go through it and you didn't have to go through it. With that being said, so sixth grade, the beginning of sixth grade wasn't bad at all. I would say it was towards the middle of sixth grade when stuff started to get shaky. I felt as though I started questioning my sexuality. And, bullying was going on. A lot of that was going on during that time. So, I really didn't have any friends or nothing like that, or anything of that sort. So, I was always cool with teachers, anybody that could be in my corner, I wanted to be cool with. Antonio Maurice Brantley was one of them people. He was one of them people that I thought was in my corner during that time, and I felt as though I could trust him. Now, we all obviously can see that I could not do that. First incident occurred during the middle of my sixth grade year. I was in the ISS room. It was just me and Antonio Maurice Brantley in the ISS room. We were joking and laughing. We were playing, and it was no context to what he did, but he grabbed as y'all can imagine what I'm thinking about, and I'm not talking about my rear area. I didn't know how to feel. I stood in shock, and I stood there. A couple minutes later, I did it back to him, and one thing led to another, and I ended up giving him oral sex in the classroom. That's the first incident. During this time, I was what you can say is rewarded by the things that I was doing. Me and another student, and this other student DM'd me last night when I came about my story. He asked me why I didn't tell him, because he was also cool with Maurice Brantley. Anybody that knows, that man bought me iPhone 8 Plus during the time I was in sixth grade. He bought me AirPods, food, anything. You can ask anybody that went to that school. He hovered over me like I was a golden child. I could never do no wrong. I could never get in trouble, because Maurice Brantley will always protect me no matter what. When I would get in trouble with teachers, they would send me to Mr. Brantley. Shit. So, yeah. Second incident. After a basketball game, my mom allowed Antonio Maurice Brantley to take me home after a basketball game, because I asked her, could I stay? But she told me that I had to find a ride. Like I said, after the basketball game, Maurice Brantley proceeded to take me home, and before we stopped to get to his car, we stopped by the bathroom. He went in the bathroom by himself. He locked the door behind him. He then came out of the bathroom still unbuckling his pants while they were still down. I then proceeded to grope his groin area, and then we proceeded to leave the school. As we're leaving the school, on the way home, I gave him head all the way home. Yeah. So that happened. There was a third incident that occurred before everything went to stops, and it was one weekend. He talked my mom into thinking that he was going to tutor me. He picked me up from my house that morning, and we went back to his home in Swainsboro, where he was living at with his mother. And there was no tutoring done whatsoever. There was nothing but grooming and sexual activity the whole time. As we left his house, once again, the whole way home, I gave him bed. During the time this shit was occurring, I didn't tell nobody because you don't really know what to do when shit like that is actually happening to you. It's like something that I can't even explain. Like, you can't, like, nobody is prepared to go through anything like that. And I don't want anybody to ever have to go through something like that. Okay. Fast forward to my 18th birthday. Mind you, the years have gone by. I have not had contact with this man. I have not texted him or anything. I can't say that I still had him on social media, on all my social medias. I still had him on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that. So, fast forward, my 18th birthday approaches, and he messages me, and my mother has the messages. I still have the messages. I still can screenshot the messages. He texts me apologizing about what he did to me, and that he couldn't explain. He didn't know why he did what he did. And in my mind, it had been going on so long that I feel like the situation was okay. I did not respond in the way that people think I would have responded. I didn't respond in the way that I should have responded. I responded as if, though, I still wanted him to do things that he was doing to me. He quickly texted me back with, what do you mean, or whatever the case may be, and I left it at that. I didn't text him back. Fast forward. Thank you for my best friend, because y'all, friends are, I'm thankful for the friends that I have, and I'm thankful for the people that I call my friends, because without my best friend, Savon, I don't even know if I would be able to even acknowledge the situation as it is. I thought I was at peace with the situation by not speaking on it or not thinking about it at all. As I stated in my Facebook post, my mom has questioned me. My phone stayed checking. My mama questioned me multiple times. Has anybody ever touched you? And my answer was always no, because in the back of my mind, I thought what was happening was right, because in my mind, it glorified my sexuality, because I didn't know what I wanted at the time, but that is what confirmed for me. That is what confirmed for me what I wanted. And so I didn't think that it was wrong. Okay, with that being said, he texted me back and said, what do you mean I didn't respond, or whatever the case may be. Fast forward, me and Saval, we had stopped. We've always been friends on and off for a good while, but it was never no bad blood, never nothing like that. My mom knows Saval well. Saval has been in my house. My mom knows Saval is a good friend of mine. And one night, I was at Saval's house, and she went out the room to go in the kitchen, and I don't know what hovered over my mind to tell her that these things were occurring with Antonio Maurice Brantley, but I felt the need to tell her. Mind you, I talk about any and everything with Saval, so I felt the need to tell her. I end up explaining the situation to Saval as if, I would say in my opinion, as if it was funny. That's how I felt. I explained the situation to Saval. She quickly stared at me like I was fucking stupid and told me, Jeremiah, you were sexually assaulted. And explained to me that what happened was not right. In my mind, it immediately clicked, and she immediately told me that I needed to tell my mom. I called my mom on the phone, and I let her know. And honestly, I'm thankful that I don't delete messages, or I didn't delete the messages of him telling me that he was sorry for the things that he had done. But I ended up calling my mama, and I ended up telling her the situation. Lost for words. I won't wish that shit on anybody. I won't wish that shit on anybody. My mama felt as though it was her fault that I wasn't protected. And I can't explain how that shit made me feel. Because at the end of the day, we always think it's our mothers as mothers, but they're fucking human beings, and they have feelings too. So, I heard the hurt in my mama's voice, and I just instantly broke down. Because, what can you do, bro? What can you do when it's already done? There's nothing you can do when it's already done. So, yeah. Now, quickly fast forwarding to the whole coming out situation. Anybody know I came out last, I want to say a day before Thanksgiving last year. And, yeah, I just was going through a really rough time. I was really depressed. I didn't know what was going on. I let my mama know that I was really depressed. No, I did not get therapy. I did not want therapy because I felt as though I did not feel like I knew what the problem was. Whenever I was asked, well, what's wrong with you? Or why do you feel this way? Or why are you so depressed? Or why are you beating yourself up? Or why are you so stressed out? It was always I don't know. It was always, I don't know. And I want anybody to know that whoever asked me or whoever tried to check up on me and I told them I don't know, that's because I really did not know. I did not know what, I couldn't tell anybody. I didn't know. It's not that I didn't want to talk to nobody. It's not that I didn't want to open up, but I felt as though my feelings were, I did not know what was wrong with me. I just felt trapped. So fast forward, I ended up coming out. What I thought was the reason that I was so depressed and so stressed out and all this and just so beat up and just so worn out, at a young age. What are you so worn out for? It got to a point where I thought it was work. Like, I'm 17. Like, the fuck is work stressing me out for? Yeah, I just thought it was so many other things, and I tried to make it so many other things because I did not want to face this situation. So yeah. End up coming out. That fixed nothing. It gave me a sense of clarity that I was able to be who I finally am, and I was able to just finally be me. Yeah. So that gave me a little bit of peace of mind, but quickly after, shit just went right back down. I decided that I wanted to move to Colorado, because I wanted a fresh start. I felt as though I did not belong in Statesboro. I did not want to stay in Statesboro at all. That's just how I felt. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's just how I felt. During the time up to like a couple months before me moving, me and my mama went through a very rough patch. This is not for me to, I'm not saying this as to degrade my mother or anything. We have a great relationship. I feel though is where I went wrong at, and why we were bumping heads is because, like I said, I did not understand that my mom was human. I think like that's really where I fucked up at. I was putting all the blame on her. This situation, everything, I was definitely putting the blame on her. And I shouldn't have at all. And I'm sorry. And I can't take it back. But it happened. Yeah. It took for me to stand on the front porch with my mama and bawl my eyes out for 35 minutes to understand where she was coming from. I had to understand that she's human. She got feelings too, and she also goes through things. So, yeah. I let her know about the situation, like I said. And why I keep saying I'm at peace at the situation, I'm not healed, is because I'm so at peace at the situation. When I called my mom to let her know what had happened, I told her I did not want nothing to happen to that man. I told her, I'm letting you know this so you can get a sense of clarity of what I'm going through, because you've always asked what's wrong with me. So she needed that closing. Like, she needed that. So yeah, I told her not want nothing to happen to him. To this day, I said what I said. I do not want nothing to happen to that man. I just want him to be away from kids. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just want him to be away from kids. That's how I feel about the situation. That's what I say. Also, I am asking for Justin. I'm asking for everybody to share my story around, because I want him away from kids. A couple of people have got in my DMs and said that he was teaching at a middle school in Henry County. To my knowledge, or the last thing I saw that he was teaching in Augusta. So I don't really know. Police report has not been filed yet upon me, because I have not done it yet. I will be looking into it, and I will be doing it, and I will be doing what I need to do for me to heal from this situation and get better. I just thank everybody for sharing my story. I think for everybody just being in my corner. Just watch y'all kids, man. People who you think are safe, like it's an evil world. You really don't know, bro. I want everybody to just be safe. And yeah, I just thank everybody. I thank my family that I have y'all in my corner. And I'm sorry to anybody who I've hurt during this journey, because I can say I was a very angry person. I'm sorry to my family for the time I can't give y'all back, because family gatherings, I went there. I always told y'all no. I didn't want to be around y'all presence. So I just apologize to everybody. It's nothing that I can go back and fix, because we can't rewind time. But yeah, this is the situation at hand, and I just ask that everybody keep sharing my story. and I'm thankful for everybody, and I just hope y'all have a good day.
So listen, like I said, I'm going to give my opinion now, right? Now, first thing first, I want to say, because you never know who comes across the video, from the family to the creator who made this video, to the mother, anybody, right? I just want to say this, just first and foremost, right? I understand that we are human, like he said that his mother is human. Now, what I will say is that we live in a world where people are sick, people are demented, and they prey on the youth. But what I will say is, and I just recently made a tweet about this on Twitter, and I don't want this boy to be mad at his mother, because listen, it's your mother, it's your father, it's your village, it's everybody. Now, when I did that other video on Isaiah Harris, I found out that her father perished. But if you dig deeper, he wasn't even really in her life before, regardless if he has some health thing going on. So we don't know the dynamics of these people's family, whether their father is present, or we don't even know in this situation with this young boy and it's terrible what he went through, of what his mother was doing. Like, was she a mother who worked around the clock and she just wasn't paying attention to things? Was she a person doing other things, like, you know what I'm saying, into the streets or into men, pay attention to men? Because something that was definitely going on. I want to say this to you. I recently made a tweet on my Twitter, and I said this. I said, should schools be responsible for teaching kids what is appropriate versus inappropriate in regards to touching, right? Should they be responsible? Because nowadays we can't even count on the parents to educate. Because in a situation like this with this young boy, not mad at him for what he went through, because he was a child. You can even still tell that he's a child. They say that your brain is not even fully developed until you're 25, 26 years old. In this story just now, he said that he didn't want to get him in trouble. He wanted to get him away from the kids. But you did this video and you made it public, which means that people are going to know about Maurice Brantley. He needs to be arrested. He needs charges placed on him. But I don't think he understands that, because he's still young. He's still a child at mind. You can tell. And it took him sitting down with his friend, and he said that he presented to her as if it was funny. But I still believe it was a part of him that knew that was inappropriate, that he realized that he was assaulted by this elderly man. Let me tell you something. So should schools educate these kids on what's wrong versus what's right versus what's wrong in regards to what's inappropriate and inappropriate? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Even if that mother was a single mother, she's still... I'm going to say it for what it is. I don't know this family, and I'm giving my opinion to the commentary. She did fail him. She did, but I don't think that she should hold herself. There were some misses. My mother worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time, where she had a stroke when we was going to private school, and my brother got into stuff in the street here and there, both of my brothers, right? So there was some misses. When you have a parent that works and works and works, and it's not like a two-parent family household, yes, there was some misses. So in certain ways, my mom was responsible. Both parents are responsible. So I'm not going to put it all on the mother. Next thing I want to talk about is that this boy was in 6th grade. This boy was in 6th grade, right? I don't know what his mama was going through, but if I was in 6th grade and a teacher was buying me or my brothers iPhones or, electronics and stuff like that, that didn't make you raise an eye to that? That didn't make you raise an eye to be like, or raise a brow to be like, what is going on? Why is this person so close to my child? Why? I love the fact that not just my mother, other people's parents who I know, they educated. Listen, let me tell you something. When you have kids in this world, you're not going to be around them 24/7. I was in 6th grade sitting on my steps and playing with my friend in the community, and a grown man in his 40s came up to me and asked me, did I know anything about a blowjob? You know what happened to me? Being that I had that prior education from both my mother and my father, basically more so my mother, that I took flight and ran up them stairs. I told this man, hold up, I'll be back. My heart was pounding. This old man is asking me about some lewd sexual act. I flew up them, but you know what? This poor boy right here, he wasn't educated. And as a parent, you do have a responsibility. We need to get back into the days where we're blaming the parents. Remember back when we was 80s babies, 90s babies, when we grew up, they was like, I blame the parents. I blame the parent. But I don't think that his mom should take that, She had a miss. We do have misses, right? It's hard growing up being a single parent. My mother bared the brunt of all of the responsibility, even though I knew my dad and he was there and, for us in certain ways. But my mother did the rearing. My mother is the reason why I have the strong work ethic and that I'm able to be a responsible person out here in society. My mother is the reason behind that. You understand what I'm saying? But she educated, she educated us along the way. So that man, from spending, you know, you being the favorite one and him love bombing you with all of these things, to end up using you and doing inappropriate touching to you. Yo, then she said the mother approved of or allowed him to go to some game and allowed him to bring him home. And then that situation happened when he ended up going down on him. And the first situation was just inappropriate too, with him grabbing him. Let me tell you something. It's not just me. It's not just me. A lot of us as kids knew what was inappropriate based on what we was taught from our parents. Our parents are the ones who are responsible. They are responsible. So your mother, while she's not a bad person, she did have a miss. And was she, did she fail you? Failed, I believe, I feel like we use that word. I feel like failed is an Isaiah Harris story where this girl was unalived and she's no longer here anymore. And the family is so many questionable things going on. Like, did you do this? Did you do that? Or, did you even check at the shop within the first 3 to 4 hours when she was missing to see if she was up there? The sister was up there. Did you do that? In this situation, I believe the mother had an oversight, but she still has a responsibility. She still had a responsibility. It happened 3 times. Three times. This poor young boy didn't even know, and I believe that this happens to kids because I've had friends. I spoke about it in the Isaiah Harris video. Check out those videos too from my channel if you come across this. But the thing that I said about the 3 people who I knew who went through things like this, they thought it was normal. Their uncles or intruders or whoever it was that violated them, they told them that they loved them. They had them in a loop-de-loop in the mind, so much that one of my friends was intimately assaulted by one of her family members, that by the time she got 18 years old, she went to go visit him in prison for the things that he had did. It's sick. It's a sick cycle. So I don't know what prompted this young 18-year-old boy to get out here and tell this story in regards to what happened to him. Maybe it was the Isaiah Harris story. I don't know what triggered him to do it, but I seen his Facebook. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole and read that. I did see a post under there from his mother, and she was praying to God. A lot of black people in general, they mention God or whatever. Listen, the point blank matter of it all is that I do think the mom has some blame. The dad has some blame. The whole village has some blame, right? They do. They do have some blame. When that man did that to me and offered and asked me if I knew anything about a BJ, I flew up them stairs, and when he thought it was over, because he used to walk the community and be away from the halfway house, my whole family was out there. My whole family was banging on the doors. I alerted everybody. But you got to have your kids comfortable with even coming to you. Got to have that dialogue open. So I want to say this to any parent that comes across this video, especially with different videos like this, and stories going viral about human beings like this, a person who is around your kid has access. You got to educate them and let them know from day one what is wrong and what is right. Just like I told y'all about my niece, who her mama brung in her damn prison, her jailbird, prison bird, husband who served 10 years in prison, came home living in the environment with my niece. Her and the mom and the husband went shopping. He's buying my niece undergarments, and she came to me like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with it. I spoke to her from a young child, from a youngin' up, about what's inappropriate, what's appropriate. And this is why she came to me and said that to her uncle. This is why she did it, because the communication is open. I want y'all to start communicating with your kids. Let them know from the jump, from youth, what is right, what is wrong, who should never touch you, who, what I'm saying? And I would even say this in this video, just to kind of tell you, and not saying that this is right or wrong, but when you're younger and say you're in 6th grade and it's another girl or boy in 6th grade and it's like y'all like each other, and you might exchange a kiss, or you might hug, or you might do things like that. Stuff between little kids, little kids have a mind of their own. That's a whole different story. These is adults in their 30s and 40s. Inappropriate. I remember this. And these people in these education institutions have been inappropriate. I never forget when I was in 7th grade that I was sitting in the ISS room. I think I got kicked out of class for chewing gum, and the teacher said no gum. And there was a girl down there, this girl who I know who's from Brooklyn, fully developed, had chest and everything. And I never forget that this guy who got in trouble, it's three teachers in this school, this public school, who got in trouble. Mr. Strickland, Mr. Brown, and also and also Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones still teaching in another school in Troy, New York. My niece asked me, she said, do you know Mr. Jones? He said that he knows, our family or whatever. I said, Mr. Jones is still teaching? I said, he had a crazy case too. I told her, she said, yeah, he got it thrown out due to whatever. So he's still teaching, and she said that he was still shady and weird in ways. He's still in the public health system, and she said he got off because he was able to have a lawyer. Anyway, as it pertains to Mr. Strickland, I never forget, she was stretching. This girl that I know named Shauna, she was stretching, and she was like popping her chest out, like stretching. He said, damn, Shauna. And I remember her being so weirded out by it. I think she told on him, to be honest with you. Mr. Brown, I don't want to say these people first name. He got fired for having an inappropriate relationship with a 13, 14-year-old. Fired. Mr. Jones, whatever happened with him, I can't remember, but he got fired too. He got let go and was on some sort of administrative leave, and now he's working, that was in Albany. Now he's working in Troy. You got to be in the middle of these relationships with your kids. You have to be. You need to develop a way where you're in their business, like without them even realizing that you in it. Like if they got these cell phones, they got all these phones, they on Snapchat, messages disappearing, they on Instagram going in vanish mode. It's too much. So I'm happy that this young boy came out and told his story. I think that you need to press charges against this man. Hopefully he's still within the stature. There's no statute of limitations where he's not able to do this. This man is still teaching. He had the nerve to reach out to him on his 18th birthday. You need to do him the dirtiest way. You need to. And listen, I don't know if that's a lawsuit against the school too, but I don't know how that they would prove that. But he needs to do whatever. You can still tell that this boy is still young. He's still young in the mind, and he has been impacted and affected by this. So listen, potent, pondering, never pandering. I want you to get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know in regards to the question that I asked you. Do you think that being that there's so many, and I'm just being blunt, I don't care. It's not in regards to his mother, but there are a lot of lousy parents, a lot of lousy, family members who take responsibility of taking care of these kids, and they're not educating them. They're not educating them on what is appropriate versus what is not appropriate. And I heard some crazy stuff about Neziah Harris' grandmother, how one of her boyfriends ended up intimately assaulting Neziah Harris' mother. So it's a whole history of this capital R word going on, and it's just the family. Are they complicit? Do they, I think that they are. But anyway, that's not related to this. Please educate your kids. Let them know what it is about touch. Let them know what it's about in regards to being appropriate versus inappropriate. Let them know so that when they're met with these things, that it's like, this is weird. This is not normal. It's no normalcy to this. Yo, potent pondering. I'm up out of here. Y'all be blessed. Peace.